Literary version of When I See You, crazy version of Returning to the Workplace. Watching my sister tear off a bitter woman at the dinner table, the former lover suddenly transformed into the father of the first party. At this moment, she was just a weak and helpless, trembling intern from Party B, flattering Mr. Ji with a glass of wine. After years of separation, Feng Shui took turns, and Chu Shi, who was heavily suppressed by Ji Yubai, wanted to win back around. But wait, why is the art style crooked? Ji Yubai. When I miss you night and night, and when I see you again, how I hope you will always be by my side. Chapter 1. Return. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 2. Reunion. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 3. Old Knowledge. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 4. Reservations. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 5. Farce. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Due to the need to coordinate with Zhouhai's project, Chu Shi joined the sales department in advance and officially became a member of Jihua. The sales department is extremely busy with work, and business trips and meetings are almost commonplace. The atmosphere of employee interaction is also unusual, with a harmonious and calm surface but hidden secrets, surpassing the workplace intrigue portrayed in TV dramas. On Chu Shi's first day at the department, her colleagues gave her a lesson. Welcome to the new employees, Chu Shi. The supervisor arranged a seat for her and said a few words before leaving. Welcome, welcome. Everyone warmly greeted her, and a few colleagues next to her gathered around with a lot of chatter. Chu Shi, you are the first person in the department to become a regular employee in advance from ancient times to the present. The future is promising. You are so impressive, share your experience with us quickly. Hey. Chu Shi, what's your major? Did you pursue a master's and doctoral degree? I joined the company so late. Our company values talent very much, but such a high degree is considered a rare talent in our department. You're in good spirits. Our old bones in the sales department are all aging. Where are you from? Maybe there's a colleague who can come along and join us. Oh my, maybe when someone drives to work, does anyone squeeze the bus or subway like you do? Everyone burst into laughter, seemingly teasing each other, but in reality, they all asked her for background information. Listen carefully and have a big head. By the way, Chu Shi, do you have a boyfriend? He looks so pretty, so he must not be single, right? What is his boyfriend doing? When it comes to gossip, everyone becomes even more interested, with a melon-eating expression. A bunch of questions, hidden with sharp probing, these new colleagues are not considered friendly. Chu Shi simply doesn't answer, seemingly catching everyone's questions but actually not listening to a single word. She clung to her seat and giggled foolishly. Ah. Is that right? Ha ha ha. She just didn't respond to everyone's probing, and what she said today may become a mistake in dismissing her tomorrow. She was a newcomer and everyone wanted to give her a thumbs up, but she refused to admit it or take over. After a while, everyone realized that she was asking for trouble. She is indeed a boring person. As expected, everyone saw that she was neither soft nor hard to eat, and she lost interest. Oh, look at you guys. She just arrived, and it seems like you're going to eat her. The speaker's name is Ji Yubai, and the workstation is closest to her. I will inevitably have to deal with her in the future. Chu Shi turned his head to look at her. Ji Yubai remained calm and leisurely, teasing the others, the days ahead are long. Let's gradually cultivate our relationship in the future. With all the steps taken, Chu Shi stood up and bowed to them, please take good care of us in the future. After a few encouraging words, the small welcome party finally came to an end. Chu Chu breathed a sigh of relief and sat back in his chair after everyone had dispersed. Seeing her relieved expression, Ji Yubai comforted her and said, "Everyone's enthusiasm scared you, isn't it? The sales department is just like that, it's very lively." After that, he introduced his colleagues in the department and the projects he needs to follow up on recently to Chu Chu. By the way, she paused and touched the delicate and small earrings on her ear with her right hand, intentionally or unintentionally saying, "There are other colleagues in the department who are on a business trip, but they should be back soon. I'll see them soon. We usually work very hard, so if there are any language conflicts in the future, don't take them to heart." Ji Yubai smiled and said to her, with a smile that couldn't match her eyes. He comforted her and said, "I heard that you were also in this cooperation with Zhou, and you can learn a lot." After she finished speaking, she seemed to be hesitant to continue, her eyes flickering as if hesitating. Chu Chu remained calm and took the initiative to ask, "What's wrong?" "There is a person named Xia in our department," Ji Yubai said awkwardly. "She is also involved in the Zhou project this time. Last time, she lost a copy of the company's data. When you work with her, you need to back up the data. Isn't she causing trouble? Can she still continue to take over the project of Zhou?" asked with a clear and puzzled expression, that's to say, Ji Yubai lowered his voice. "I heard through the grapevine that she entered the company through the back door. She knows how to get into trouble, and someone helped her out of trouble last time." Chu Chu pretended to be surprised, but in fact, it had little to do with her whether others entered the company through the back door or not. "Moreover, I also became a regular due to Ji Yubai's early conversion." "Thank you, sister. I will pay attention." Seeing Chu Chu finally enlightened, Ji Yubai stopped the conversation with satisfaction and returned to his workstation to work. It's really a wooden head on her phone, in a corner that others cannot see, she is sending messages to other colleagues. Chu Chu doesn't care about these gossip. The company is offering her a salary to work for her, not to speculate on these elusive rumors. The environment in the sales department is even worse than she expected. "I came back from a business trip, have you guys missed me?" A witty and loud remark disrupted the orderly keyboard sound. "Xia, you're finally back, I miss you so much." The girl who responded to her was enthusiastic and boastful, as she walked up to embrace her. Ji Yubai gave a clear glance, raised his smiling face, and concealed the fleeting jealousy in his eyes. "By the way, our department has hired a new colleague in advance, Chu Chu." Chu Chu stood up and was about to say hello when the two of them stared at each other for a moment. This person turned out to be her college roommate. "I haven't seen him for many years, but he is now feeling proud, with exquisite makeup on his face, dressed in designer clothes, and stepping on the hateful sky, as if he has become accustomed to receiving all the lights and gaze. Yes, having a decent and high-paying job, and living a relatively comfortable life, is a time of pride in life." Chu Chu. "Oh my God, long time no see. How could it be so coincidental? I didn't expect to meet you here. Let me introduce you to my college roommate." Encountering old classmates in the workplace immediately brings out a sense of comparison and superiority. It can be heard that Xia is really happy, but this happiness is more like an intangible show-off. Long time no see, Xia. She should have changed her name, formerly known as Xia Simeng. I was also surprised to see my old classmate in Jihua. Xia warmly walked over and hugged her, enthusiastically scheduling meals with her. Apart from reminiscing with old classmates, it was more about conveying a sense of superiority that, "I am very successful now." Chu Chu does not expose it, nor is he tired of acting, hastily responding. Yu Guan glanced past Ji Yubai, and the other person's face was so bright that he could hardly hold a smile. When she sat back, there was a subtle atmosphere between the two of them. The farce ends after work today. Do we have to deal with such a group of actors every day? Just thinking about this smoky department makes us feel dizzy. A new message pops up on the phone screen. How does it feel to officially become a full-time employee today? Su Huizhou. It's hard to say in one word. In short, it's too exciting. Clear response. Ha ha ha, have you finished work yet? I'll treat you to dinner, just to celebrate and cheer for you. He immediately returned. Eating again. Chu has one head and two big ones. Subconsciously wanting to refuse, Chu was editing the text when he sent another message. I happen to have arrived downstairs at your company. By the way, that's really a coincidence. Chu silently deleted the typed words and replied well. Chapter 6. Long time no see, 1. You are listening at novel full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 7. Long time no see, 2. You are listening at novel full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 8. The turbulence that happened in those years. You are listening at novel full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 9. Getting to know each other. You are listening at novel full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 10. First Love, 1. You are listening at novel full.audio. It was probably because of the appearance that Chu began to yearn for Ji Yubai. A wise woman naturally wouldn't treat herself unfairly, so she invited him to dinner. What's for dinner, brother Ji? A pitiful emoji. Chu resumed her old profession of pretending to be pitiful. What is brother Ji? After a while, the other party replied again, ordering food delivery. Ordering takeout is not good. I secretly slander in my heart and continue to throw olive branches. What kind of takeout should we order? How about we go eat delicious food? Ji Yubai. I haven't finished work yet, it's broken. He probably wouldn't want to refuse, holding his phone clearly and frowning anxiously, quickly pretending to be pitiful. Okay, then only the other person will go to eat. Are you really not going? Ji Yubai. After a while, he finally agreed. Chu cheered and excitedly stood up, grinning foolishly. Okay, see you and don't part ways. The address was immediately sent. Tonight we're going to have dinner with Ji Yubai. Chu quickly reported to Gao Xiaotian. The clothes hanging on the balcony swayed with the gentle breeze, and the shadows on the wall swayed as if feeling happy for her. At this moment, it seems like the sunshine has also become gentle. Ji Yubai is processing files in front of the computer. The sunlight outside was particularly dazzling, and he felt a bit dazed. There is rarely such a soft moment in life. After work, when Ji Yubai arrived at the restaurant, he was already waiting at the door. Upon closer calculation, this is only their second meeting. Looking at the girl waving at him in front of me, her eyebrows and eyes curved and her eyes bright. Chu was wearing a small black dress, with delicate makeup on her face, a small silver necklace around her neck, and a small bag slung over her shoulder. She walked over and naturally tugged at her sleeve, muttering about being hungry, as if they had known each other for a long time. That's right, the two have indeed known each other for a long time. When I finished my meal and walked out of the restaurant, night had already fallen. At the beginning of the night, the streets are still bustling with activity. Two people are walking on the street at random. Did you enjoy going to amusement parks when you were a child? While asking Ji Yubai, he looked at the carousel ahead. Not bad. Ji Yubai raised his eyebrows. Do you want to go sit on that carousel? Blink your eyes clearly, looking at him with utmost sincerity. The man was amused and said, let's go then. Sitting on the wooden horse as she wished, she turned to look at Ji Yubai and said, don't you sit. Don't sit, you sit. As the Trojan horse spins, music plays and dazzling lights shine brightly. The evening breeze blew the delicate hem of her skirt, and she was laughing wildly on the wooden horse. Amidst the flow of brilliance, as Ji Yubai watched the girl on the wooden horse laughing happily like a child. It seemed as if she had been embellished with her joy, and the corners of her mouth couldn't help but rise. That night's moon was like many nights in the future, distant and desolate, and under the moonlight, everything gradually fell silent. As time passed, their relationship gradually became familiar. Back in the day, she had a remarkable ability to flirt with people. When they made plans to watch movies, she didn't like to watch them in the cinema. According to her, she couldn't adjust the speed, nor could she persist in focusing on the screen for more than 2 hours in a row. In order to flirt with Ji Yubai, Chu sat in the cinema for 2.5 hours. I started to get distracted and busy less than halfway through watching the movie. It was autumn and winter, and she specially prepared a hand cream in her bag to give to him. I watched this movie clearly and fell asleep, while the man on the other side watched it seriously. Looking slightly sideways at Ji Yubai's profile, with a tall nose bridge and black-framed glasses, he had deep and lively eyes. His eyelashes were long and thick, slightly raised, and the light from the screen flickered in his eyes, changing and bouncing, but his gaze did not move. At this glance, I was mesmerized and didn't know how long I had been staring at them. I only felt the sound changes around me slowly moving away, leaving only silence between the two. She couldn't help but slow down her breathing. What kind of gaze is that? It seems that Ji Yubai is now her whole world. He noticed the gaze beside him and finally left the screen, turning his head to look at Chu with a puzzled inquiry. There was no conversation between them, and it was clear that their faces seemed to be burning, with a sense of shame as they watched being caught on the spot. But it really looks good. Chu adjusted his mood and sat up again, his eyes wandering around, his hands resting on the bag on his legs, slowly groping for a small and clever hand cream inside the bag. It's her same style, even the fragrance is the same. She really likes this fragrance. Light and pleasant to smell, niche yet not easily appealing to the taste. Fingers caressed the uneven patterns on the packaging, and my mind was calculating how to speak. In the afterglow, I caught a glimpse of the delicately defined lower jawline and distinct Adam's apple of the man beside me. His shoulders were so high that he couldn't lean against them. Chu slowly relaxed, let go of those cautious thoughts, and like him, returned his attention to the plot of the movie. Occasionally approaching to discuss, Ji Yubai also lowered his head to listen to her speech. Rubbing his ears and temples, he could easily kiss his face with a slight turn of his head. I did watch this movie for a long time. After the scene ended, everyone left in groups of 3 or 2, and the two of them slowly walked through the crowd. Stepping out of the cinema on a staircase, Chu stopped and stood on the highest section of the staircase. What's going on? Ji Yubai also stood still halfway up, turning his head and looking back with a relaxed smile, asking her. I have something I want to give you. Chu stood tall and suddenly felt a little embarrassed. The person under the ladder didn't hesitate. Upon hearing this, they walked up and stopped on the same plane as her. What thing? Just take it out and it'll be fine. Dang 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 dang, dang dang dang. Chu playfully took out the hand cream. Do you lack hand cream? I feel like you don't even need these. You all know this. The man just smiled, complimented and complimented, with a tone of indulgence. Chu lowered his head and twisted open his mouth, naturally pulling Ji Yubai's hand along the cuffs. He picked it up and rolled up his sleeve, squeezing the hand cream onto the back of his hand. Give it a try. The big hand has distinct joints and feels full of bones. Compared to his hand, the hand she is holding now appears so small. His big hands were also warm, and his cold fingers were intentionally or unintentionally leaning against his palm. Not much squeezing. After squeezing, he took advantage of the situation and pulled up Ji Yubai's other hand, squeezing his big hand with the back of his hand, while commanding with his mouth. You wipe it off with the back of your hand. Chu lowered his head and pulled his hands, and he also lowered his head. Her curled eyelashes swayed in the blink of an eye, and his hands felt a cold touch. The girl's hands were soft and weak, with a pair of seemingly weak and powerless hands pulling his hand to wipe the circle. The two were not far apart, and the change in expression on the girl's face was in her own eyes. Ji Yubai obediently listened to her command to rub and apply hand cream, while unconsciously indulging in a smile. Looking up clearly, I saw the man staring at her and laughing. "What are you laughing at?" A questioning remark was spoken, with a hint of coquettishness in the tone. Ji Yubai did not answer the clear question, nor did he retract his smile. Instead, he followed her tone and softened down to ask questions. "Are your hands cold?" Chu replied with a soft and sticky tone. Blinking at the person in front of me with starry eyes. "Do we have to warm their hands? Then you can carry it in your pocket." "Oh." Chu stuffed the hand cream into his hand and walked forward with his pockets in his hands. Behind me came a faint laughter. The atmosphere was a bit charming just now, and I almost couldn't control it. Chu thought to herself.